The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. Glory to you, O Lord. Jesus summoned the crowd again and said to them, "Hear me, all you, and understand. Nothing that enters one from outside can defile that person, but the things that come out from within are what defile." When he got home away from the crowd, his disciples questioned him about the parable. He said to them, Are even you likewise without understanding? Do you not realize that everything that goes into a person from outside cannot defile, since it enters not the heart but the stomach and passes out into the latrine? Thus he declared all foods clean. But what comes out from the man, that is what defiles him. From within the man, from his heart, come evil thoughts, unchastity, theft, murder, adultery, greed, malice, deceit, licentiousness, envy, blasphemy, arrogance, folly. All these evils come from within, and they defile. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
So I always kind of feel like Saint Scholastica, who we celebrate today, I kind of see her as an aunt of mine. Because I went to, my alma mater was a Benedictine monastery. So I did undergrad out at St. Benedict, Oregon, in a little monastery out in Western Oregon. Anyway, St. Benedict was, that's the tradition that we kind of followed. But St. Scholastica, if you've ever read her story and her relationship with her brother, it's kind of fascinating. There's a neat little story in the office readings you might take a gander at. But it just kind of shows their relationship. So I don't know, I just kind of find a little comfort in her kind of as an aunt. But the Benedictine tradition, kind of even, it's a scholastic tradition, Scholastica. I don't know exactly what that means, but it's an intellectual tradition. And so we studied philosophies and stuff like that, really honed in on kind of the intellectual rigor, discipline that Catholicism has always provided. But I kind of think of that today in light of our two readings. First, that we've been reading through the book of Genesis, and the Lord said, "Hey, you can eat from all the trees in the garden except for the tree of the knowledge of good and evil." Okay, well, we know what happens when we turn the page, right? Adam and Eve ate from the fruit of the tree of good and evil, and I think they got exactly what they bargained for, and we inherited it too. You and I now have a knowledge of good and evil. And the problem is that we have the decision to choose. We get the ability to choose. And left unchecked, we choose evil. That's the result of human sin. Our default, the gravitational pull for us is towards evil. So if we don't, without the grace of God and the discipline of learning and knowing the truth, we choose evil. So Jesus kind of recognizes that today. He says, hey, it's not what you put into man that defiles him, it's what comes out. So in moral theology, we would say, hey, sin or just human action in any way, shape, or form, it has to do with intentionality. Like, what's your intention, right? That's what determines the sin or not. Yes, it is also the matter of the action itself, but what it really comes down to is our intentionality. That intentionality resides in our conscience. We hear a lot about our conscience, right? And the church has always upheld, hey, we are bound to follow our conscience. Like if, whatever it is, aside from even what the church herself teaches in a sense, we are bound to follow our conscience. All right, the church says that and follows that up with, hey, we're to have a well-formed conscience, okay? So that's kind of the kicker, because without forming our conscience, we gravitate towards evil and we can justify it. That's not good. So that's the knowledge of evil. That's we inherited original sin. We want the knowledge of good. To gain the knowledge of good, we need Jesus Christ, we need his church, and we need to learn that good and form our conscience, so then we have the ability to choose the good, right? So I just kind of hold that out like we have the kind of the mandate given from the church and whatnot to form our conscience correctly, to listen to the teachings of the church, to allow that to form us so that we don't follow the gravitational pull to the evil, but correct ourselves and choose the good, right? Because now, thanks to Adam and Eve, we have the ability to choose good or evil. Without a formed conscience, we're going to choose evil. So hey, let's take up the intellectual rigor necessary to form our conscience according to the truth, the teachings of the church, the teachings of Jesus himself, and don't justify doing evil, but actually choose to follow the good, to do the good. That's how we stand upright in this fallen world. So, well, we thank you for those disciplines, Lord, such as the Benedictine tradition that's helped us to study different, mainly just moral theology and philosophy that helps correct our conscience, that we may have that well-formed conscience to choose the good, which is you, all the days of our life.